Washington Week is an island of civil discourse in a chaotic media environment. On Friday night, we gather the best reporters in the nation and have a conversation that's about informing the American people.
Washington Week.
All new, Friday night at 7 on Arizona PBS. Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
At Biltmore Loan, assets like diamonds, rare collectibles, or sports memorabilia can become cash. We respect your privacy and buy our loan on most things you own in Scottsdale or Chandler or online at BiltmoreLoan.com.
At Biltmore Loan, we say yes when the banks say no.
AJ's Fine Foods, offering gourmet appetizers, fine wines for entertaining, and decadent desserts for all your special occasions. Find 10 Valley locations at ajsfinefoods.com. AJ's, purveyors of fine foods.
From the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
The fate of the Affordable Care Act up in the air tonight, as millions of Americans wonder if Obamacare will be wiped away.
Plus, immigration challenges at the southern border. Hear the latest solutions from both sides of the aisle.
And we'll show you how undrafted free agent Jalen LeCue is making a big splash on the Suns' Summer League team.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Owen Evans.
And I'm Kyla Wilcher. Thank you for joining us.
Right now, members of the Republican Party are fighting to prove the Affordable Care Act is unconstitutional.
On the other hand, members of the Democratic Party are pushing for it to remain in place. That's brought the Democratic National Committee's chair, Tom Perez, to the Valley today.
Cronkite News reporter Tanaya Williamson was at the Protect Our Care campaign stop today, where Perez pushed for the act to stay in place. Tanaya?
Yes, as the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals hear arguments that aim to repeal the Affordable Health Care Act, there's a group of leading Democrats that made a stop today in Arizona fighting to keep it in place.
If successful, this lawsuit would eliminate Medicaid expansion, which has provided remarkable opportunities for 17 million people across this country, including 500,000 here in Arizona.
Democratic National Committee Chair Tom Perez speaking out in Phoenix against the push to end the Affordable Health Care Act.
That includes 2.7 million Arizonans. The uninsured rate nationwide will rise by 65%.
During today's public appearance, Perez was joined by other Democratic Arizona representatives and healthcare advocates. Under the slogan Protect Our Care, the group speaking out as the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals hears arguments challenging the constitutionality of the Affordable Health Care Act. Currently, there are 20 states, including Arizona, part of a lawsuit.
And now the biggest fight for our health care is now in the courts, where Arizona's Attorney General Mark Brnovich included Arizona in the lawsuit to destroy the entire Affordable Care Act, and that's part of the process we're hearing about today.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton led the lawsuit and tweeted today, "It's time to bury Obamacare once and for all." If the lawsuit is successful, some fear it will have devastating consequences.
Because I also worked in the emergency department here in Tucson, Arizona, when we took all the people off Medicaid the last time that we tried to save money by cutting our budget and cutting health care.
Dr. Larry DeLuca believes getting rid of the Affordable Health Care Act has a negative impact on people who need care and will affect even more people in the long run.
It increases the cost of care. And it doesn't just increase the cost of care for these people, because whenever they can't pay their bill, that hospital has to recoup that cost somehow.
And there's no subtlety to what the Republicans are trying to accomplish in this lawsuit. They oppose not simply part of the Affordable Care Act, but the entire Affordable Care Act.
Ultimately, judges did not issue a ruling today, so a decision is still pending. It is important to note that while Texas judges' decision last year struck down Obamacare, that ruling was put on hold pending the appeal, So the ACA is still in place. Live at the digital desk, Tanaya Williamson, Cronkite News.
Migrant minors seeking U.S. asylum will be moved from housing at a former Benedictine monastery in Tucson to unused areas of the Pima County Juvenile Detention Center. County officials confirmed 3 buildings could be used immediately as a dorm-like shelter for up to 200 people. It's unclear when the move would take place. While officials in Tucson are talking about how to handle migrants when they show up here, Experts in Washington were talking about the larger question of US and Mexican cooperation on the issue of immigration.
Julian Paras was at that discussion this morning and brings us the story live from our Washington bureau.
Experts on the American Enterprise Institute panel acknowledge a long list of problems related to immigration. There are solutions, they say, if lawmakers can discuss options rationally rather than politically.
Former Mexican Ambassador Geronimo Gutierrez said the concerns about immigration are not just on this side of the border.
It's certainly an issue that it's charged politically in Mexico, in the United States, and certainly in Arizona. But I think that today's session just highlights that it's possible to have rational discussions about how to improve the way the United States and Mexico manage immigration.
But that it takes dialogue, not just between the countries, but between lawmakers in Washington, says Mark Thiessen, a former speechwriter for President George W. Bush.
What I would tell the ambassador is if you want to turn off the magnet over here, you need to talk to Nancy Pelosi, not Chuck Schumer, because that's where the holdup is.
And Thiessen says the Democratic leaders aren't the only ones who need to bend.
If you listen to some of these folks on the far right of the immigration issue, they're really worried that Donald Trump would cut a deal with Nancy Pelosi for a wall in exchange for that kind of legalization.
While there's much the two countries could do, Migration Policy Institute President Andrew Selly says there are some things the U.S. needs to fix on its own.
I think the biggest question is how do we fix our asylum system? Right now we have an asylum system that neither gives protection to people who are fleeing for their lives, nor does it return people to their home countries who don't have a strong asylum claim.
Until that is fixed, it will continue to be an issue in border communities, he said, highlighting Yuma.
Arizona has been a major place for migration from Central America. We've seen huge surge in Yuma, for example, and it has become one of the destinations along with the Rio Grande Valley and the El Paso, Ciudad Juarez area.
Gutierrez said Mexico has been enforcing its own migration laws to reduce migration from Central America. But that's just one part of the solution that will take collaboration from both the U.S. and Mexico.
We need more and better avenues for legal migration to take place. We certainly need to address the fact that there's a lot of people that are, fleeing their countries for valid reasons, request asylum. And I think that it's possible for Mexico and the U.S. to work together on this.
President Donald Trump credited Mexico over the weekend for a drop in the number of migrants reaching the U.S. border. But he also warned that immigration and customs enforcement sweeps of immigrants here illegally will start fairly soon. In Washington, Julian Paras, Cronkite News.
Only halfway through this year's mosquito season, and Maricopa County has already surpassed the number of confirmed West Nile virus cases it had all of last year, with 27 cases being recorded so far, compared to only 24 cases in 2018. And that number could increase through the fall. Experts say 20% of people bitten by mosquitoes carrying West Nile develop flu-like symptoms, while fewer cases result in paralysis or death. Officials say there is no cure.
This summer, the American Red Cross has seen a decrease in blood donations.
Cronkite News reporter Amanda Slee is with us now to explain why there's a shortage.
The American Red Cross says there's less than 3 days supply of most blood types. That's why new and existing donors are needed to help save lives. Last month, the Red Cross launched a campaign to encourage people to donate. Now, after a slow 4th of July week for donations, the organization has issued an emergency call for people with all blood types to give.
My daughter has a friend who has an autoimmune issue where she has to have IV therapy every 3 weeks, I think it is, and they recently encountered a shortage of the plasma that she needed.
Those shortages are happening for a number of reasons. Blood drives get canceled from bad weather, and schools are out for the summer. They are big supporters of blood drives, but with school out, that means there are fewer drives being scheduled.
The earthquakes out in California affect how much blood can be collected out there. You have the 4th of July weekend, you have a variety of factors, and when those all come together at the same time in the summertime, that is where we see the supply is low, and the demand, of course, always remains the high, if not higher in the summertime because of accidents.
American Red Cross reports there is less than a 3-day supply of type A and B blood, and less than a 2-day supply of type O blood. A spokesperson for the organization says type O is a universal blood type.
absent of knowing a person's blood type during an accident, let's say they're unconscious or incapacitated, the ability to use that type O blood as the universal blood type is vitally important.
The Red Cross, which collects about 40% of the nation's blood, is completely dependent on businesses and schools setting up blood drives. One donor says this is an easy way to give back that doesn't cost anything, even if you aren't eligible to give blood.
When I was in high school, I would take it was typewriters back then, but type the information of the people on the cards to donate and take all their information and things like that.
Last week, there were 450 fewer blood drives organized by businesses and other community groups across the country as people celebrated the 4th of July. That led to about 17,000 fewer blood donations than what's needed for patients in a week. Starting now through July 31st, American Red Cross has scheduled blood donation opportunities all over the valley. In the studio, Amanda Slee, Cronkite News.
Coming up next on Cronkite News, a housing development plan put on hold here in Arizona gets the okay from the president. But now a lawsuit is questioning the impact it would have on the desert.
And the search is on for the family of a Purple Heart recipient after this showed up in a Tucson donation center.
All of its children had come to the Mother Church of Country Music. It was almost like a badge of honor that you had to bring your culture with you to the table. That's why Bob Wills and his guys brought us Western music. That's why Hank Williams brought the South with him from honky tonks. Johnny Cash brought the black lamb dirt of Arkansas. Bill Monroe brought music out of Kentucky bluegrass music. Willie Nelson brought his poetry from Texas. Patsy Cline brought her heartache from Virginia. I mean, it was the most wonderful parade of sons and daughters of America that brought their hearts and their souls and their experiences, and it gave us a great era in country music.
A housing development plan in Arizona was put on hold due to environmental concerns. But after a secret meeting between the developer and President Donald Trump's nominee to run the Department of Interior, the project was back on track.
Now it's been stopped again by a lawsuit. But the chairman of the House Committee on Natural Resources is opening an investigation into what happened. Critics say it's just the latest example of how industry leaders with connections to the Trump administration are able to get their projects pushed to the front of the line.
CNN senior investigative correspondent Drew Griffin has more.
The Villages at Viñedo is a massive housing development being planned in this Arizona desert east of Tucson. But like all development in Arizona, water is an issue, especially for wildlife. And U.S. Fish and Wildlife Supervisor Steve Spangle thought before putting in all those homes, golf courses, and potentially 70,000 people, government scientists should look carefully at how the project would impact the nearby San Pedro River.
Well, we wanted them to assess how much water was going to be withdrawn from the aquifer.
The EPA had said years earlier that developing the site represented a substantial and unacceptable impact, though the Army Corps of Engineers approved a permit for an earlier project on the site. Spangle decided before the new Villages at Viñedo could move forward, a full-scale biological assessment was needed. That was October 2016. Then this happened. What followed was a series of events pieced together by CNN that shows a developer with connections to the Trump administration was able to push his project forward despite environmental concerns. It was just 7 months into the new administration, Steve Spangle received an unusual phone call.
It was one of our solicitors, one of our attorneys from Washington, and she told me that she had gotten a call from a high-level political appointee within the Department of the Interior who informed her that our position out here in Arizona was not the position of the administration.
Spangle says the lawyer from the Interior Department told him he needed to reverse his earlier decision on that environmental assessment for the project.
I felt I had a duty. I work for the administration. I have to do what I'm told, and so I did. I felt pressured to reverse my decision. In its simplest terms, I was rolled.
Spangle followed orders, reversed his decision, and 4 months later retired. Environmentalists are livid.
We're supposed to work under the laws and science was overridden here.
This is the developer. Mike Ingram is part owner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. He donated more than $50,000 to Donald Trump's political committees, co-chaired a canceled inauguration fundraiser that promised $500,000 donors a hunting trip with Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump and a private reception with the president. He's connected to Interior Secretary David Bernhardt, too. Ingram is a director of the Safari Club International Foundation, a group Bernhardt once represented. And since Donald Trump became president, Ingram has enjoyed easy access to Trump administration decision makers who oversee his interests. Schedules obtained by CNN show at least 11 meetings, phone calls, or emails with top Trump administration officials, including then EPA Chief Scott Pruitt and Ryan Zinke, who was Secretary of the Interior. And CNN has learned that in August of 2017, Mike Ingram met up with his old lobbyist friend and then Deputy Interior Secretary David Bernhardt, the first of at least 5 meetings with him. This secret meeting, not on any public calendar, was a private breakfast held at Mike Ingram's hunting lodge in Montana. Just 2 weeks later, Fish and Wildlife Supervisor Steve Spangle got that unusual call from Washington, and the Villages at Vigneto development was on track again. A lawsuit by environmentalists filed earlier this year now has the project on hold. Ingram will not talk to CNN. He has hired one of Washington's most powerful lawyers to speak on his behalf, Lanny Davis, a Democrat.
The innuendo is, well, he's close to Trump. There must have been political influence. That's just innuendo. I can't see any evidence that there was any influence whatsoever politically. Not
this
even.
Guy has unprecedented access to David Bernhardt on August 18th, 2017. He invites him for breakfast, isn't that right?
So, yes, that's right.
At his hunting lodge?
At his hunting lodge.
And it's shortly after that that the phone call is made to Mr. Spangle telling him, we want you to change your decision.
And you've now done an incomplete narrative of the facts, so let's do the rest of the facts.
Please.
He explains the Army Corps of Engineers asked about Spangle's complaint. The Fish and Wildlife Service looked into it and found no evidence Spangle's reversal was unjustified. And it's all in a new official letter handed to CNN by Lanny Davis just days after CNN first reached out to Ingram for comment on this story.
CNN calls, and suddenly there's a brand new letter that comes out and reaffirms that everything is okay. And by the way, in that letter, nobody from Washington had anything to do with this. I mean, Mr. Davis, with all due respect, that sounds like a pretty slick move.
So if you're discussing innuendo and fog, I completely agree. If you focus on facts, the facts are that the Army Corps of Engineers made a decision on the facts under the law.
Did you have anything to do with that letter?
No.
Did Mr. Ingram have anything to do with that letter?
No, I would say on camera that sometimes bad luck happens to me when I'm working for a client. In this case, it was just pure luck that I read this letter just before the CNN interview, and I said, there is a God in heaven.
The Department of Interior responded to our list of questions with a one-sentence reply, stating the issue had been reviewed by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and found nothing wrong. But the U.S. House Committee on Natural Resources is now demanding its own answers. The Democratic chairman of that committee, Raul Grijalva, has informed the Department of Interior Congress has initiated an investigation into how and why environmental concerns about this massive project changed after Donald Trump was elected. Drew Griffin, CNN, Atlanta.
ASU's Metis Center for Infrastructure and Sustainable Engineering is honoring ADOT. They awarded the Arizona Department of Transportation for their efforts in reducing further erosion of a Navajo Nation bridge. Engineers that built the Laguna Creek Bridge used brand new technology, including sensors, gauges, drones, cameras, laser-aided surveying, and 3D modeling of the surface. The goal? To avoid damaging culturally significant sites near the area. On July 20th, 1969, the astronauts of Apollo 11 landed on the moon.
But it's the preparation that took place right here in Arizona 50 years ago that helped those astronauts land safely. We'll explain how after the break.
I'm Judy Woodruff, anchor and managing editor of the PBS NewsHour. The journalists of tomorrow face a fast-changing media landscape, but quality news remains vitally important to our communities, our country, and our world. At ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication, students learn solid, reliable reporting, holding the powerful accountable, and rebuilding the public's trust. The Cronkite School and Arizona PBS, preparing the next generation for a stronger future of journalism.
As journalists at Cronkite News, we report on stories that matter to you by focusing on the local impact. We dig deeper and work tirelessly to keep you informed.
Live in Wickerburg.
Live in Los Angeles. In Cleveland. In Washington. In Louisville.
From Jerusalem. Live in Philadelphia. From around the world to right here in Phoenix.
At Cronkite News, we report the facts and stick to the truth.
A Goodwill store in Arizona is looking for the owner of this medal. It's a Purple Heart found in a Tucson thrift store's donation box last month. The name Nick D'Amelio Jr. is engraved on it. He was a seaman in the Navy who went missing in action during World War II. The Purple Heart was awarded posthumously sometime later. The store would like to return the medal to the veteran's family.
In less than 2 weeks, we'll all be celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 mission's lunar landing. But did you know, before Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin even knew they'd be the first to walk on the moon, they took crash courses in geology at the Grand Canyon. It was here in Arizona that scientists used photos of the moon to help recreate the Sea of Tranquility, the landing spot of Apollo 11. And get this, every moonwalking astronaut trained here, and a crater on the moon was even named in honor of the city of Flagstaff, where astronauts studied moon mapping at the Lowell Observatory. To this day, astronauts still train in and around the high country. Now brace yourselves for the heat. We've got some watches in effect later this week.
Lindsay Amundsen is joining us now. And Lindsay, when will the monsoon moisture move back into the state and cool us down?
Unfortunately, those temperatures won't be cooling down anytime soon, but we have been pretty lucky with the cooler temperatures we've been feeling currently. 103 in Phoenix, 102 down in Tucson, and 102 over in Lake Havasu. But as we head up north, those temperatures start to drop. 84 in the Grand Canyon, 80 in Flagstaff, and 86 over in Window Rock. As we move into the rest of the night, those temperatures will start to drop. 104 and sunny at 6 p.m., 101 at 8 p.m., and down to 96 at 10 p.m. But as we move into the rest of the week, we can expect excessively hot temperatures. Sunny and 111 on Wednesday. The clouds will roll in on Thursday, 111 for Thursday and Friday. And into the weekend, we have our high of the week at 113 on Saturday, down to 110 on Sunday, 112 on Monday, and 110 on Tuesday. So we do have a hot week ahead, so make sure you're prepared with water and wear that sunscreen. Live in the Weather Center, I'm Lindsay Amundsen.
Las Vegas has seen a swarm of superstars throughout the week.
Up next, how an undrafted free agent is making a name for himself.
We'll shine a spotlight on the young Suns player that could make a big impact on the court this upcoming season.
Welcome to another edition of Cronkite Sports Now. I'm Taylor Rocha. Let's talk sports.
For the latest on local sports and beyond, we've got you covered.
Let's do this thing.
We challenge reporters to go beyond, a game story. We want stories with depth.
It's just a crucial step from the college experience into the professional experience while you're still in school.
At Cronkite Sports Now, watch the journalists of tomorrow cover sports today.
I'm Judy Woodruff on the next NewsHour, Green Rush. We kick off a new series on the highs and lows of the growing legalization of marijuana in America. That's Tuesday on the PBS NewsHour.
The NBA Summer League is underway in Las Vegas, and the Phoenix Suns lineup features a player with an unusual path to the pros.
Jalen Lecque is an undrafted free agent that signed with the Suns on Saturday. He also happens to be a recent high school graduate who skipped his college experience for a chance to go pro. I checked out this young rookie's Summer League debut. Fresh out of high school, Jalen Lecque hopes to earn his keep with the team that gave him his first NBA chance. He turned down a full scholarship to North Carolina State for the draft, but his name was never called.
It wasn't too much pressure for me. I knew that I was going to be in a good situation regardless. I worked pretty hard. In the pre-draft, I knew that somebody would take the chance on me just to become a great player.
Normally, recent high school graduates can't declare for the draft, but because Lecque was 19 years old, he was draft eligible, and the Suns picked him up as an undrafted free agent. General Manager James Jones says it was an obvious choice to sign the guard known for his fast-paced play.
We really liked what he has to offer. He's young. He's a project in some regards, a young guy that will have to continue to grow, but he was phenomenal with us in a short time, and he picked things up so quickly.
Lecque says his lack of college experience doesn't hold him back. He even joked after his debut game on Sunday against the Knicks that this NBA game was easier than his high school English final he took a few months ago.
It's kind of crazy. Like, I was just taking my finals. So, I was just taking my finals like a couple months ago now in the NBA. So, I have a lot of friends that's like 18, 19, around my age, and they're just stoked for me. And I just want to prove everybody wrong.
Lecque says Suns Summer League head coach Willie Green treats him like any other older player. And Green likes Lecque's aggressive style around the rim.
I'm not just a regular high school dude that I believe everybody thinks I am. And I just want to prove everybody wrong that I belong with these guys.
Lecque had 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists in his first 15 minutes of NBA play. The point guard is on track to show the player called Rook has a place in the pros.
The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism will honour award-winning journalist and anchor of NBC Nightly News, Lester Holt, with the 2019 Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism. He'll receive the 46th annual Cronkite Award at a ceremony in November, marking what would have been Walter Cronkite's 103rd birthday. Our congratulations to Lester. That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
The PBS Summer of Space continues with a story of the pioneering spacemen.
They're really kind of cowboys. They're working on the fringes of the military.
Then the risks and dangers intensify on chasing the moon.
We were fixing arrows very close to flight time. My feeling was they were flying with baling wire and rubber bands.
Spacemen and Chasing the Moon.